what I was telling you earlier, like people would be like, oh, I feel guilty that I'm leaving my kid and going back to work. But nobody was ever like, I fucking hate my kid. He ruined my life, And like, I wasn't getting that. And I'm like, I can't be the only person in the world who feels this way. I'm
Right.
not that special. So I started writing it with the idea of like, let's talk about some of the stuff that is almost shameful. You are not supposed to say you don't like your kid. You're
Right.
just not. But I didn't like my kid. And so what am I supposed to do with that? And so I just wanted to make it okay. And I wrote the book with that in mind, that like, it's okay. And you're feeling this way, not because you're a bad person, but because you're going through stuff and it's really hard and it's okay. So I wrote it with that in mind, but I wanted it to be funny. So I wrote it's in the form of journal entries, where I'm just sort of talking to myself, I felt like it worked really well that way, because then I can say the things that I can't say out loud if you're just saying it to your diary.
Right.
And I bring up a lot of Harry Potter because I'm kind of nerdy. I bring up Friends a lot because I'm kind of nerdy. And I just say it. I just say it all. I just say like every annoying thought. I say every fickle thought. Because, one entry will be like, I can't stand this. Why did I do this? Please tell me this is a dream. And I walked around for like 3 months trying to figure out, I was in the Matrix. I was like, is this real? Is this my reality? And then the next entry will be like, he's so cute. Oh my God, I can't stand it. He's so darling, And
Right.
because that's what you feel. You're not like, depression doesn't mean that you're like in a constant state of sadness.
Right.
That's not what that is. There's these ebbs and flows to it. And some days you forget you're sad and you're having a great conversation. And then all of a sudden there's like this flash flood that comes over you for sometimes the dumbest reasons, sometimes the really important reasons, but sometimes it's like the stupidest shit can just set you off.
Yeah.
And you're just shrouded.
And, I kind of believe, yes, we can meditate. Yes, we can train our mind. Yes, we can, work on the Tony Robbins positive thoughts. But I kind of feel like my mind's going to do what my mind's going to do, right? Like if I'm like kind of mentally checking out, or if I'm a little bit more in a depressive state or a little bit more in a manic state, the brain's going to kind of do what the brain's going to do. So knowing that you were probably always going to go what you were going to go through, having written the book now, experienced this, talked with people about it, what advice would you have given yourself, when you found out you were pregnant with Sammy? Like what advice would you have given yourself to kind of get through this, or deal with it a little bit better, or just be accepting of it? I don't know what I'm looking for, but like if I forced you to be a coach, even though you have no interest in doing it, and you could go back in time 7 years and coach yourself, what would you have told yourself?
I think I would have probably explained to myself, man, a lot like your wise friend Ryan, that this isn't what motherhood is, that this is a very small part of motherhood. And this isn't forever. And it is okay to ask for help. So like if I knew I was depressed earlier on, I could have gotten the help that I needed. And been able to like acknowledge it and say it out loud. Like, you guys, I'm dealing with some postpartum depression. I need you to help me with the baby. And not be ashamed of it. So I think I would have been more brave in saying I'm not okay. And also not trying to like take it all on myself. I had just a lot of like, I'd have all these feelings and I wouldn't tell anybody. I just kind of keep it to myself. I don't know why I did that.
Yeah.
I'm not a very emotional person. And, saying things like I'm lonely is those are two really hard words for me to say. But the fact of the matter is that I was lonely, and it almost made me feel like I was a failure as a human being.
Yeah.
Like I just failed like humanity in general by feeling those feelings. And not living up to my expectations of what motherhood is. And the fact of the matter is when if you can get a woman to talk about how hard it is, there's no end to the things that they would say on how hard it is. But when you're, I'm sure you remember when you first got married, you like romanticize the idea of being a parent, and you guys talk about what you're going to do and how your kid's not going to ever watch TV, and how your kid's going to
Oh
be this
yeah.
perfect little child, and
Never
you're
gonna
going
have a
to, and you're going to
phone.
homeschool.
Yeah.
And there's just all these like, we romanticize it so much to our detriment. It's really dangerous the way we view things. I call it montaging. Like you just like have the music and you have these scenes,
Totally.
and it's amazing. And the day-to-day life is not like that at all. And I think if I knew that that's what it was and it wasn't a montage, yeah, I think I would have been at least like a little bit more prepared, but instead I was thrown into it and I'm like, what the fuck? This is not what they said it was supposed to be like.
Yeah.
They lied to me. They lied to me is how I felt.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny because the end of that Ryan conversation is he goes, yeah, so like everything sucks about having kids, except for the fact that you have kids. Cause when they do something, you know, like
Yes.
we've been having a lot of challenges with our son Gabriel, who's about to turn 6. A lot of challenges just with, you know, acting out and physicality and stuff. But when I see him like giving himself the little affirmations of like, I'm going to teach myself how to ride this bike. Dad would be so proud of me if I learned how to ride this bike. And then all of a sudden I come home from a business trip and he's riding the bike without training wheels. And I'm like, oh, this is what it's all about. This is the moment Ryan was talking about. Like everything about having kids sucks except for you have kids.